Good morning, all you fabulous people. Let's get going with the market update. Command and Conquer has gone absolutely crazy. It's over $100 officially with shipping. Um, I think this is just RTN buys. Also, I think some of us kind of expected a reprint of Command and Conquer and Heavy Hitters, me being one of them. I pretty well hedged on this, but this card seems to be trickling up again. It's the most expensive I've seen it in a long while. I would just keep an eye on it. Maybe these come back down, but yeah, this is all time high over the year, just short of a couple dollars, basically. Hopefully you have your playset. If not, I'd wait on it. There's cheaper alternatives that, as long as you're not playing in the high level tournaments, you can probably get away with. Miraging Metamorph. I think this card is too cheap. It's a illusionist staple. I just don't think Prism or really Dromai are using it at the moment. But if we're doing a more ward slash aura based build for a new illusionist and part the mistveil, I think this card can go back up to $20-$30. Um, it's an Everfest Majestic. Once it becomes useful again, it pops. And if they're good, they stay around $10 no matter what. So I think this is at it's pretty much its bottom. Maybe has a little bit more room to go, but I think this, as soon as Illusionist is officially announced with the new set, I think this goes to $20 pretty much instantly. Now would be a good time to get your set. There's a lot here for $10 to $12. Annihilator Engine. Teklevossen, I believe, top aided a couple events over the past couple of weeks, mainly fatigue strategy. And since he doesn't have to worry about Arcane Barrier that much, other than Kano, really, but I don't think there's enough Kanos in the field that he has to fully just leave the meta. But Teklevossen, he ran a couple copies of this card in his deck that went, but these EA Majestics and a lot of the sets are just extremely rare, like extremely rare. I highly recommend going and watch like Master Set Madness on like Bright Lights. These are like one per multiple cases. I think actually on Dust Till Dawn, he's still waiting on his widespread annihilation, EA, and the Fable. Those are the only two cards he's missing from the master set for that one. Just to show you how rare they are and how much he's opened. $10 or $12 for this is pretty cheap. I've had some of these. These are actually really good looking cards. I think it's all dependent on Teklevossen being meta relevant. He will eventually become more meta relevant, I'm sure. He's not just gonna sit at the sideline forever. These are pretty darn cheap. I'd get them, especially for the rarity. In the swing, this was a Team Covenant promo for Everfest, I believe, for buying a case. These cards have gone crazy too, mainly due to Kasai. The art is sweet. I think I brought these up when Heavy Hitters were first releasing, and they were about $10 to $15. I'm considering. I think I have some extras lying around. I'm probably gonna try to sell one or two of these if I have extras, but they're gorgeous cards. I think they're way too expensive at the moment. I think these probably come down in a few weeks, uh, maybe further down the road. But I think you just keep an eye on these. These probably come down because look, the last or the chart says 17 was its highest, but when they have quite a few sold at 25 or above here in the past week. I think Teklo Foundry Heart from History Pack for $22 is an absolute steal, considering the pull rate for legendaries in the first half of sets, as well as History Pack in general. Trying to pull one of these, this is like a box hit, and it's cheaper than some Majestics anymore. Teklo Foundry Heart, I think it's just not being used. I think Max really isn't used, or Max and Dash with the boost is not really being used as much. so it keeps getting cheaper. I think I picked up a rainbow foil copy for like 30. If you want a little bit nicer longevity copy, $30 for a rainbow foil from Arc, I think is still a really good deal. But I think this is the deal of the day. $22 for a legendary from set 2, basically, but in white border. Phantom Time Maw has gone crazy over the weekend, and it is basically sold out. $11 for the cheapest copy, which is a rainbow foil. I think this is also based off of the Ward New Illusionist speculation. To be determined if this card's even usable in the New Illusionist. This is all just spec buying, unless somebody has something that I don't know about. I would wait for this to come back down. Hopefully you got your copy for about $1 or $2 on like Friday or Thursday. Celestial Kimono Marvel is gone absolutely nuts. Only one on the market at 125. There was a bunch sold at 50 and one sold at almost 58. This is once again all spec buying. Nobody knows if this is going to be usable. It's once per turn when Celestial Kimono or non-token permanent you control with Ward is destroyed, gain 1. I don't think this is that great, especially Dromai and Prism both have better chest pieces or tunic that is more consistent than this. This has Ward. I guess if you can get this with the Diadem of Dream State and just kind of recycle for Ponder tokens or doing something like that, that could be cool. Or maybe the new hero ability affects it, but I would definitely wait on this one, or heck, even sell it if you can get $80 to $90 for your Celestial Kimono Marvel. I would take it. Similarly, the Crouching Target Marvels off of the announcement has gone crazy. $40 for the cheapest copies, and they're selling at $40 is the main thing. I would... I think these still have a little bit of room to go, considering they're still selling. Maybe 45, 50 is where I would see their top out. Or once they announce like a ninja that actually uses these could maybe go to 60 or so. I just keep an eye out on these. These are gorgeous little marvels. They're tokens though, so I don't think you really have to run out and go get them. They're like sideboard bling, really cool. Carrion Husk had a little bit of movement over the weekend. It was going down to like 80, 85, and a few were sold. Now we're looking at 120 for Carrion Husk. I just wanted to bring it up since it was about a $20, $30 move. The cold foil I think is 155. I think that's the lowest I've seen it. The cold foil is the cheapest it's basically ever been in the past year. Or never mind. About the cheapest it's been in the past year. If you're looking to play Levia or maybe Vincent, I think this is an auto-include in any shadow character at the moment. They're just not very viable. Other than maybe Levia, to be determined on that. She seems pretty strong, and Mansant seems to be on the hype train there. She did get a lot of cool brute tools and heavy hitters. I think it's just finding the right balance of those new tools versus the old stuff. Emboldened Blade. I don't know if this is being used, and that's why it's gone up again. But a while back, this went out, was like 50 cents, and then it went to $10, and then it's trickled back between 5 and 8, and then it come back to $10, and now it's up to 13 again. I think this card is just a blue block 3 with an OK text, is what it is. So blue block 3s are pretty darn good in Fab. Allows you to cycle stuff, and it allows you to. This has a little bit of arsenal interaction, which is always good. I haven't seen it in any deck lists. Maybe it's in Dory. I haven't really been looking into Dory. Maybe that's why. But Kasai for sure, I haven't seen any run of it. I've thought about running it just for a blue block 3, but I've found other blue block 3s that are better. Diadem Cold Foil, 55. These were $20 forever after Dusk Till Dawn. After about a month, it was like $20, $30 for a Cold Foil copy. Now it's $55. I think a few have sold at that price. Yeah, one sold at 60. I would hold on to these. I still think this is yet to be determined. The cold foil I think is a little high. The rainbow foil I think is lagging. There's just so many copies on the market at like $8 to $10. I think it's a good pickup at $8 to $10. Legendary is never under $10 is a good pickup in my opinion. Little disclaimer: Singularity. The last few copies were bought out or taken off the market in this past week, and it's gone from $400 to $500, $600 to $1,200. I think you wait on this or try to find this privately. I think the card, from the way I understand it, is pretty. It's extremely rare for the marble. I don't think it's worth $1,200, but I could be wrong. And I think it's still a pretty spec buy. Tekla has showed up in a couple top 8s, but for the most part, he's been struggling. I'd hold off on getting this one at this one and see if you could buy, if you really want to be Tekla all the way, probably a $500 one, maybe a $400 one if you can find it on the private market. Constructing Actor Mechanoid was about $40 last week, and now it's come down to about $20. Magnolia Gaming listed a few lightly played versions for about $20. There was a couple for $13, $14. I think this is all Max hype. I think Max does have legs. We haven't seen him in a top 8 yet. I think he just has. I've heard rumblings of him just steamrolling people, but I think he can also get high rolled himself. I would just keep an eye out on this. $20 for this Majestic for rainbow foil, not too bad. It only comes in rainbow foil, gold foil, and marvel, so this is the cheapest version. If you were looking to play Max, I think maybe it's time to get these. I don't think they go much cheaper. They're pretty rare. Kasai is continuing to cool off. A bunch have sold from 300 to 400 over the weekend. She was up to, we had one, 2 weekends ago that it was sold for 600, but ever since then she's been cooling off. I think she still has room to drop, but I guess a few people are buying at the 350 to 400 price. I'd still hold off on this. She's the most expensive Marvel, and to my knowledge has not won a major event. KO's won a couple, but she's gone in a couple top 8s, so I just keep an eye on her. I don't think this card is $400 rare. I think this is a lot just due to fan favorite hype, and whoever's opening them or keeping them. Victor Goldmane has cooled off about $15 since we last talked. 61. I think he is the second most expensive behind Young Kasai for the young marbles. I think this still has downward pressure, but I think a lot of people are just undercutting now to try to get rid of them. I'd keep an eye on it. I think he ends up back in the 50s here shortly with the others. KO is the cheapest young marble at $39. I think this is a buy if you have any interest in playing KO and Blitz. From what I've heard, he's really strong because he can just go super fast in Blitz. And he's kind of like Fi, where you just don't block, and you run a little bit of or quite a few of the no blocks and just kind of steamroll. Creating the might tokens is nasty in Blitz. I think it's just a good card. The card's really good good looking in person as well. Gauntlets of Iron Will. They pretty much stabilized for the rainbow foil from $35 to $40, but the cold foil's coming down quite a bit. It was $80, $90 just a week ago. Now it's at $63. Right now, if I were buying a copy, I'd buy the cold foil because I've heard they're like cold foil legendaries and heavy hitters in general are just really, really hard to get. And being only like 1.5 times more expensive than the rainbow foil at the moment, I think the cold foil is the buy. And lastly, Earthlore Bounty, after the speculation hype has finally cooled off again, $10. this card is great for UPF or Blitz. It's also a really great budget alternative. This is the extended art. There's also like a non-foil that's about 50 cents that you can pick up as well if you don't need the bling. But $10 for this EA Majestic from Everfest is actually a really good pickup. I think it at nothing less, it's a temper 2 block, but in a lot of games you can get some seismic surge value out of it too. That's it for today. You guys have a great day. Bye.